when I create in the studio, I need big booty bitches, you feel me? Nah, I do though, seriously, because the circumference of the ass it actually make nah. The two of you who don't know me, my name is MeLo-X. It's the guy from Brooklyn, New York, East Flatbush, and I'm a creator. Create. My earliest experience with music was actually my mother. She bought me a small, like a small little toy piano and a toy recorder. So I used to like record my voice and record the piano and make my own little mixtapes. This is like when I was probably like 7. Between like 5 and 9 maybe. So yeah, that's like my earliest experience with music, and from there gradually went on to like piano and drum machines and guitar and everything else. The God EP series is basically like, I just came up with this idea of telling the story of an independent artist mainly through the titles of these EPs. So the first title is God Lo-Fi, the second is God Hi-Fi, and the third is God Wi-Fi. So God Lo-Fi is like, you know, underground, underrated. It really was inspired by people just always saying that like, yo, MeLo-X is underrated. MeLo-X needs to be, you know, here, or why isn't he here? So, and then also, I guess, an artist on the come up, you know, underground, you know, building that core following, which I did for, you know, the last like 7 or 6 years or so. Hi-Fi is like when you start to get your buzz where you're from, people start recognizing what you're doing, starting to build your name, everybody's talking about it in your area or your community where you're from. And then God Wi-Fi is when you start to explore the world, you get connected through the internet, all the websites are talking about you, and you become a global entity. And that's kind of like the direction that my career has taken so far. So I just found like a cool way to piece it all together, and it all leads up to an album which is called Motorcycle. No, it's called God Pièce de Resistance. And then it's like, after you reach, I feel like every artist, if you look at their career, when they get to the moment of Wi-Fi where they're like known globally through releasing this music, then it's time for them to put out their best piece of work. Like a song like Handle It, which is on God Lo-Fi. The track was actually a remix for Gaultier's Somebody That I Used to Know by M-Phases. And I just heard the track and looped it, and you know, that was the other thing too. Like I usually did all the production on my stuff. Like I would dabble with other people's production, but this time I was like, all right, you know, on the level of, on the lo-fi level, I would just grab whatever's hot and just rap on it, just make a song to it on some like 50 Cent, like early 50 Cent shit. And he was just like jumping on everybody and doing remixes, and people thought it was official songs and shit. So the real idea is planning ahead, you know? Like a lot of times as artists coming up, we tend to have this tendency of like, of feeling so powerful that we could record a song right now, put it out, and thousands of people will, you know, blog it, reblog it, all this. The main thing I want them to take away is the idea of like putting time and thought into, you know, into your craft and what you're doing. A lot of times artists online, we tend to like put music out real quick because we can make it reach a large amount of people, or we could tweet a link or something and then mad people see it. The album, it comes out November 5th, which is significant with Viva Vendetta. The whole idea is like, he took a year before November 5th to plan out this strategic, you know, time frame of like things that would happen and lead up to the, I think, destruction of Parliament. This project is mainly different from my previous projects because it's an actual lineup of releases that coincide with each other. Usually I'll put out like one main mixtape. Like my first mixtape was Mustafa's Renaissance. It was like about me at the time, you know, Renaissance man, everything. And then a year or two later, I'll put out another mixtape that was, you know, about a whole nother time. And then I put out like an album with Jesse Boykin III. I put out an instrumental album here and mixtapes here, remixes here. So the way that this differs is like this is something that you can follow and you can actually, like after the trilogy is done, you can download the whole thing and listen to it straight and then get the album, and it's like a whole sea of just music that coincides and tells a story and, you know, makes sense. So it's a whole year of a consistent theme, consistent look. For me, I get very inspired by documentaries and good movies. But yeah, I mean like documentaries, movies, and good art. I always like an influx of just like cool, creative things happening before I create. I have to get very inspired to create something. My sound is what I call experimental free. Experimental free music. It's like I'm free to just experiment with anything, you know. I feel like some producers or some artists, they stick to the one style that they're known for, which is cool. Some of them dabble in different things, but with me, like from when I first started coming into music and making my name, the idea was always that I was free to do anything. So like my first mixtape, I had a house remix, I had like instrumentals, I had remixes of me rapping on stuff, I had original stuff that I produced. So it was always, I had like electronic stuff, so it's always been free. I'm always free to just, you know, dabble in any genre, anything I want. So if I had to choose a genre, it would be like experimental free music, you know, whatever I want it to be. Yo, it's the God, man. It's like the hood namaste, man. It's like the God in me acknowledges the God in you. So it's the God, you know what I'm saying? Not that I'm God twice, but we both are gods, you know? So, but yeah, man, that's what it means. It's just like bigging up myself and you at the same time, you know what I mean? Instead of just bigging up me like I am God. Nah, it's like it's the God. We both gods. We both share this space, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, you don't know.